Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing super duper well today. Today we have a wonderful, wonderful guest. We have Leyla Johnson with us. Leyla is the CEO of Mohawk Games. They made a bunch of games, namely one of my favorites is Old World. Leyla will talk to us about her games very soon, and she's going to tell us about what it's like to run an indie studio, a studio basically, and how to make games through just her own experiences. So, Leyla, if you'd like to introduce yourself and take it away, it's all yours.
All right. Good morning. My name is Leyla Johnson. Do you see me or do you see my shared screen?
Currently,
Uh,
your shared screen, which is great.
okay, so let me stop sharing so I can say hello properly. So I'm first of all, I want to thank the American University of Beirut, Sail for Change, Ashraf, of course, my friend. We've known each other for a very, very long time. The Gaming Academy and the amazing crowd that we have here with us today from the Lebanese game developers. I want to talk a little bit about why I chose the topic that I will discuss today. It's because I don't get to see you that often, and it's a little bit broad. So I'll be talking about all sorts of things from like starting your company to choosing your team, managing your team, to probably thinking of different ways to create your game, what kind of game you're going to be creating, and how to ship it. So if at any point it is too vague, just know that I'm going to make myself available for questions after. And if needs be, I will open a space on Twitter and take it there to be more specific and answer specifically to your needs. This is a very important initiative. I always am in to help the Lebanese people. I don't know, just get there. All right. And Allah yahmid ibn. I'll be sharing my screen shortly. And here we go. All right. Can you see the screen?
Yep,
All
yep, yep.
good? All right, cool. So, all right. So I run a company called Moha Games, and we created Off-World Trading Company, which is an economic RTS, or an RTS that's about the economy. And we created Old World. Old World is, my baby. I was the narrative designer on that game, a creative director in general. And Old World won Best Strategy Game of the Year by PC Gamer, was nominated for a Grammy Award last year. And we made history with that because we were the only indie company to be nominated for a Grammy. For all of you indies, because I doubt we have AAA here in the room, that is a huge thing. Um, I'm also a Women in Games ambassador. I am on the Hooded Horse. I don't know if you know the publisher Hooded Horse. They're kind of making huge waves in the publishing world and the industry. I'm on their board of directors. I'm also behind an initiative called Swana Awards, which the purpose of which is to highlight underrepresented or misrepresented people from the Southwest Asia and North Africa. Do follow me on Twitter if you want to continue this in a space later. I talk a lot about my work. Or you can follow Moha Games. The Twitter handle is at Moha Games. Twitch is Moha Games, and Instagram is Moha Games. My preliminary outline. This is what I'm going to be talking about today about components for starting your company. Understanding of the market. So you mainly need to, for some reason, I don't see my notes. Like I am sharing the screen, but I don't see my notes. Just give me a second to wiggle. Open speaker notes. All right. You don't see my speaker notes, do you?
No, we
Okay.
don't.
All right,
Nope,
cool.
all good.
Okay. Oops. Why not? So understanding the market, it goes without saying that when you are starting a company, you have an idea of what kind of games you probably are going to make. If you don't, you still need to understand the market. What does the market need? How is it saturated? What kind of game you need to be making? What is the market interested in? What kind of price point you want to pin on your game? Do you want to make mobile games and make them free to play, etc.? So this is very important in understanding the market. Again, I'm going to be very broad. I'll go specific with the questions later. Also, when you're starting a company, you have to understand your own personal skills. Like, are you leadership material? This is a very, very hard question because people think that they can lead a team, but your communication skills have to be impeccable because you are going to face conflicts. You have to be good with conflicts. People who have a conflict averse personality, they shouldn't run a team. It will frustrate them. It will frustrate the team. So first, start with questions like, what are you not good at? You're not good at confrontation. You don't like tell people bad news. You don't like tell people bad news. You can't run a company. You do not have a good way to tell people how to improve. You shouldn't run the company. It will help you know who to hire to run your company. If, for example, you're not good with structure, you do not, know how to locate a problem and fix a problem, hire a fixer. At the end of the day, you are trying to maintain a good team, create a company, and you want to be successful. So check the ego at the door and go for it. I'll be here always for questions. There are many lessons learned. The skills of your team are also to be understood. So in my company, we have people who wear multiple hats, and sometimes I hire someone who is good for the job I hired them for, and then shortly after I realize they're amazing at a different job, and I promote them to that or I change them to that. So you also need to understand what kind of culture do you want to create. There are different types of cultures. There's flat structure. I've heard it all in the games industry where everyone is paid the same salary. The CEO is paid the same salary as the QA, intern. So that does in our company, we don't have that. What kind of bonuses you want to give? Are you going to do profit sharing? Are you going to hire locally or are you going to hire around the world remotely? And are you going to pay local salaries or global salaries? Finding a good lawyer. So I'm going to share something without trashing anything or anybody. So finding you realize you've hired a great lawyer when you realize that your previous lawyer was just good enough. And yes, do ask for recommendations and do your homework. But if you are a game designer, it should be easy for you to understand the lawyerly language. If you don't understand it, it's probably your lawyer isn't trying hard enough to make you understand. It took me a few years to hire the lawyer that I finally hired. He's amazing. There's nothing I don't get. And previously, I had a lawyer who explained to me things very vaguely. I felt like I wasn't really making the decisions. I've just been trusting him to make those decisions for me because he's the lawyer. With time, after reading all of the articles, and please do read your contracts. Please do read your contracts. If you trust anyone in the industry, let them also help you read the contract. You don't want a pronoun to kind of screw you. So it is very important to know what is being paid to whom, what are the clauses, what are the penalties, etc. You can't always just think, oh, I have a lawyer, they're dealing with that. I've corrected so many mistakes that my lawyer made. It's a whole list of things. So don't just take things at face value. Financing and investment. You might say, okay, well, it's just me. I'm starting a company. I'm gonna take off work and work in my mom's basement or in my garage. That's amazing. Your friend will join you. You're just gonna be, crunching for a multitude of months to create that game. You are not gonna need financing. But in case you are not gonna be doing this and you think that you're gonna start like I started, you are going to need money. So you have to create a network. You have to start getting seen. You have to be exposed, start shaking hands, make yourself known, meet people. One person will lead you to five. Just think about it this way. that kind of equation. So put yourself out there and get in groups. We have an amazing group for Lebanese game developers. Talk to Ashraf and he will add you, and start creating your networks. Again, I'm going broadly about things because I have so much to cover for you today. If we were to be meeting more often, I'd be able to break things down for you and go into details. But then again, I'm available for you for questions later. Partnerships. You might think that you're gonna self-publish. Good luck. It is becoming competitive. I'm not being sarcastic. Really good luck. There are people who went for it and made it, and self-published, and their games were very, 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 very successful. But if you think that you might want a publisher because they'll handle the marketing, depends on the publisher you're looking for. That publisher has to be versed in the type of game that you are making, has proven themselves. And yeah, I understand right now the market isn't giving money, so beggars can't be choosers to some degree. But still, this still applies that you are choosing someone who.
كتير جدا على الببلشر مهم.
I'm sorry. All right. So please choose the publisher that matches your profile as well. You're gonna get to choose also the platform that you want. Is it mobile? Is it console? Is it PC? What are you versed in? What is your budget? All of these things you have to answer ahead of time. All right, so you know where you're starting and how you're starting and how big you're starting and what your expectations are. Location. 2020 made things different. We had an HQ and then we went fully remote and we hired from all around the world. Some people like a hybrid situation, half, and some people just go fully local. Every day you go at work, you go to HQ. I am now fully remote, 55 people around the world. We're working on 4 projects at the same time, and we might scale up to 75 or 120, depends on the type of funding we get. It is stressing me out because I miss the office environment, office sickness. I don't know if that's a thing, but I do miss being around my team, especially that I say this without any exception. For years now, I've had the best team ever, so it would be nice to be around them. Lastly, it is very important that making these projects is a project of passion. So you want to have fun as well making it. So what do you want to make? It is very important to remember what do you want to make? So does this is this project meaning a lot to you? Are you good at it? And keep that in mind because that should be a compass. This is way trickier than you think it is. I will start with your employees are real people with real lives. They will have issues, they will have problems, and these issues will, that you're going to have to address. And what do you do? Yes, it is a professional, I apologize. It is a professional setting, and you're going to, keep that very, very clear. But it is also important to treat your employees with kindness. I don't say that lightly. You should be kind, which is very, very different than being nice. You are a leader and not a boss, and I'll make that difference. Take into consideration that someone just had a baby and they need to be a little bit more attentive to their child. As long as they are delivering, you shouldn't be, for example, too picky about when they clock in, when they clock out. Take into consideration that this might be a new event for them. Being nice is going overboard and saying, yeah, it's okay, just go do your thing. And then someone else is having another event and it's like, oh, it's okay, do your thing. And then structure falls apart and you haven't, planned accordingly. Be kind, keep the structure, be flexible, understand that people that you work with are real people with real issues. If they're going through some hard time, plan accordingly to divide the workload from their plates onto the team that can absorb that if they have an emergency. Illnesses happen, accidents happen. This person is valuable to your team. They need time to recover. Also, your team is watching, so they know that this person isn't just someone who's, just trying to make your product better. This is a human being. He's part of the team or she's part of the team. So prioritize that. Prioritize the real lives, real people, real lives. It worked for me. So I hope it works for you. You're a leader, not a boss. So you're not just sitting around and, telling people what to do. Sometimes you just need to jump down and do the work because there's a gap. Be ready for that too. It doesn't make you less of a leader. It doesn't make you less of an upper management. It's not a prestige thing. Check the ego at the door. Check the ego at the door. Again, the star of the show is always and always should be the project. So if you're the lead designer, but a junior designer has a better idea, take their idea. It is okay. Adopt their idea. At the end of the day, the product is improving, and that's the whole point, the success of your project. Another thing about team management is that you are a business, and you are going to need to be successful so you can continue making payroll. Structure is key. You have to have meetings. Hire people who are organized and they have good communication skills if you don't have them, so they can meet with the team regularly. In my team, for example, we have Monday, we have a tech meeting for the programmers. Once a month, on a Monday, we have a company meeting, so everybody's there, so we can update them what happened for the whole month. On Tuesdays, we have the design meeting. On Thursdays, we have the art meeting. And then there are sometimes just small meetings that happen spontaneously, random meetings, if we need to just kind of like sync up. It is hard because we have people in China, in South Africa, in Ecuador, in Australia, in Canada, in Europe. So it's sometimes hard with time zones, and we need to kind of, break down the meetings just to kind of like sync up. So if structure is key, communication is key. Set up goals, but be flexible. It is important that you communicate with your team the exact things that they need to do. Like, all right, I need this model skin and rigged within 2 to 3 weeks, and be flexible if they take 2 to 3 days. As long as you have that flexibility, but you have a clear goal, you're fine. Your team will adjust. Just a second. Connor, can you take up your thing just somewhere else because I'm having a live lecture? All right. Thank you, sweetheart. Kids are on vacation and they are at home, and I work from home. Also, sometimes your team won't be delivering, and it will be a repeated thing. You're going to need to sit down with your team member and tell them, hey, look, listen, this is a hard conversation, but it needs to happen. For a few weeks now, things have not been delivered on time. Is there anything that I need to be aware of? Do you have a plan on how to make this up? Can we discuss this? Because if we keep on moving this way, the project will be delayed and people will be frustrated. So be very clear about the communication. Remember, have a kind tone, but have a stern tone as well. I'm gonna jump to, again, the product is the star. I cannot say this enough. If anyone gives a good idea, adopt it. Do not worry about who takes the credit. You all will take the credit when you see that your project is winning awards, your project is being liked, people are playing your game, they're giving you good reviews. So all of this pays off. You're a team collectively. Production, as I said earlier, should be flexible, but with a clear goal. Hire a good producer, and if you are a very, very small team, don't worry about hiring a producer. Just put the person with the most organized skills to take up production roles. If you have questions, by the way, please put them in the chat. I will address them at the end of this lecture. Product. Okay, so many questions, right? What does the market look like? What platform? What software? Which engine? What language? Is my team versed in this? What is the price point? What kind of game it is? What audience are you targeting? What is your competition? Who are the publishers you should target? Who made those games before? And what aspects of the game you like? And all of these questions that you see on the screen, you're going to have to answer them. And then there's probably like 100 more questions. Please do your research. Have answers to every single question you see on the screen, and I have like 50 more. Tag me. I'll give you the list of all of these questions. I'll have to make it. But if you don't have answers to these questions, you should. You want to take a screenshot of this, go for it. It's also available because it's being recorded. But these questions need to be answered for yourself. All right. I'm going to go now to the product because mainly, yes, sure, a starting company, you might have a good idea. What kind of game are you making? Oh, this coffee is great. I think I gave a lecture with the AUB about 1.5 years ago about what kind of game are you making and what kind of platforms do you need. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this because I think it's very important for you to address these questions for yourselves. All right, so here's what I heard so many times over and over again. I want to make a better Fortnite. I have this idea. People tell me, especially from the region, hey, Leyla, I have this idea. I want to make Fortnite but better. Or I want to make a Halo but better. I want to make Mario but better. And now Baldur's Gate, one of my favorite games. I want to make Baldur's Gate, but like I have this better idea. Well, first of all, let me tell you, and I'm not trying to, just shut you down or discourage you. You cannot compete directly with an established game. Well, one, because it is established. It is out there. It's been worked on for years with huge budgets and huge teams. And the verdict is out. It is a good game. Two, you are going to need tens of millions of dollars just to start. These games cost tens of millions of dollars. I think some of them like $180 million just to create. So you're going to need that money. If you have that money, maybe you'll have a shot at success. Also, you're going to need tens of millions just to market the game. You see the billboard? That costs money. You're going to need to have eyes on all of that. So you direct the attention of the player on what is yet to come. So you're going to need tens of millions to start and then tens of millions to maintain and continue the marketing of your game. So keep in mind your expectations. What are you competing against? So even after having tens of millions for marketing, tens of millions for creating the game, even after that, you can't guarantee the result. That game succeeded. Your game might or might not. So again, expectations. Be realistic. All right, I'll just copy a mobile game. Well, the answer is right there. Go for it. China does it all the time. The big problem is that everyone can copy everything. As you see here, like in Wordle, someone else took it and shipped it and started making money of it. I am assuming that people here who are listening to my lecture want to create their own original games. So I'll tell you about this experience because I shared it before on a different lecture, and I also think with the AUB. The premium market is kind of dead, so you have to buy users with ads. When I was creating that lecture 1.5 years ago, I went in to look up on my phone Hearthstone. So I got a screenshot. You see it right here. And it says Hearthstone, open a game, etc. Play it. A week later, I was updating, making sure that my presentation is tight. So I wanted to take a different screenshot, update my screenshot, just make it look a little prettier. And I went in and I typed Hearthstone, and this happened. Magic the Gathering. I looked up Hearthstone and a competitor showed up. A competitor to that game showed up. So who paid more here? Magic the Gathering. The more popular your game is on mobile, the higher the price you have to pay in ads. And then if Magic pays more, you're screwed. All right, so looking for money, I'll pitch to VCs. So this used to be, what is your NFT strategy? I don't pitch for VCs, but you'll see why. They'll ask you, what is your AI strategy? This is a very contentious point. I'm sure you know about that. It's a very controversial point. I'll say, please be ethical. please be aware that even if you create AI art, it is legal for people to steal your art still. So, for example, in our team, I'm keeping my team, all of my artists, but we're becoming versed in AI. It's a technology, and throughout the decades, realize at any time there's a new technology, the big companies are going to adopt and work with this technology because it does cut costs. So it is a little bit of a like a matter of time till that is adopted everywhere. In my case, my team is becoming versed with AI, but only for inspiration. Like if I need to show my team my art direction and how I see something be done, I go to Midjourney and I type what I see in my head because I can't draw to save my life. Like seriously, I can't. So I feed it an image and it gives me, like the prompt, and I just start fiddling with it. 17 hours later, I'm creating burger that has nothing to do with my game. It's a you can waste a lot of time on Midjourney, but no, I do use it to change the mood or the color or make it like photorealistic or cartoony, whatever the motif, the theme that I want to tell my team or discuss it with my team. At least I'm able to use my very unskilled self to show them what I see in my head. So it's been just a source of inspiration for us, and that's where we're leaving it. The team is doing the work. VCs, how versed are you in the metaverse? They're gonna ask you about blockchain. They're gonna ask you all sorts of questions with whatever a click word exists now in the world. I can't help you there. I don't get money from VCs, so I'm going to be moving on. Good luck if you're going to be looking for this. Let's discuss the platforms that you are probably going to be thinking of shipping your games on. Advantages, disadvantages. So disclaimer, if you don't know, we make PC games. Our games take a long time to create with millions of dollars as a budget. For us, the advantages are that it is an open platform. Anyone with a computer, you just need a computer and you can create your game. Also, our games are premium. You put a price on it. And like it's very clear. We don't have, I don't like necessarily making mobile games for that specific reason. Free to play isn't yet my thing, but we might be going in that direction. Just don't tell anybody. So there's that. These are the advantages. Something that's neutral, I think, for PC is that it is high gaming literacy. You do have to have dexterity to play these games. Every time I say dexterity, we're eliminating a chunk of the population that doesn't have dexterity. So it's not like mobile, anyone can play it. I'll come to mobile in a little bit. Now, the disadvantages are that it's a very competitive marketplace. And of course, the technical support issues. Cyberpunk. Bugs are everywhere. Console is a closed platform. So you do have to be approved to get your game up there. So there are gatekeepers. That's a big disadvantages. And of course, there are the technical issues that you could face. These are the things in red. I don't know why I made the high gaming literacy neutral, but in console games, you all know that you're going to be proficient in playing those games. I used to win at Mario Kart when I played with my kids when they were 2 years old. As soon as they became 5, it became challenging. Now forget about it. They were born with these things in their hands. So enough said. So yes, on consoles, you still can put a price on your game, so you can at least predict some money coming back to you. It is somewhat less competitive than mobile and PC, and fewer technical issues. But then again, it's a closed platform, and you will have gatekeepers. Mobile, it's anyone with a phone can play a game. It's mostly open platforms. Billions of people, the largest user base can play your game. It's free to play. That's generally the model that is out there. Some companies coming into the mobile world are starting to adopt another model. I'll just wait for them to tell the world about it. You don't need you just don't need a gaming literacy. You can swipe left or right, or just wait. This is Tinder, but you get my point. You can just easily play it. I don't think I know now people who don't play games. Even my mom plays Candy Crush. We call them accidental gamers. So if you play chess or you play any game on your mobile, you are already a gamer. So don't say I'm not a gamer. You are. Mobile is an uber competitive market, and you're going to have difficulty keeping your players on your playing your game. You're going to need to shed a lot of money to market your game as well. Device fragmentation is another thing. So if I use an iPhone and someone else uses Samsung and like all sorts of like BlueBerry, all sorts of devices with updates, and that's also huge. It's a headache that people just complain about all the time. If you want, I'm just going to say this because I remembered it now, and I think it is very useful. Join Discords, join the IGDA chapters. You can always ask questions and find answers. Join the Lebanese game developers group so you can ask questions as well. Really, it's a very positive group, and they help a lot, and I love them a lot. They're positive, they're good, and there's always, conversation that's generated. Join indie lists, get to know people. I know the industry has some toxicity, but generally there's a lot of love and help in the industry. So you go to a conference, come find me, meet people, make yourself known, and shake hands. It's a good industry. I really, really like it. So take advantage of what is there. So many questions can be answered by just asking them, really, just to anybody openly and having a conversation. Okay, so now we determine platform. We're going to go back to your idea. Okay, granted, it is hard to turn your idea into a game, but it is really, really fun. I love making games. I love making games, the games that feel like me. I like strategy. So how do we determine what kind of game we are making on what platform? What are key points that I kind of used to identify the types of games that are out there? So we're going to do this, and it will be something I'm going to bring up at every lecture I'm going to give. So I can talk to you whenever you're explaining something to me. I'm going to ask you how much strategy is in your game, how much execution is in your game, and narrative. And by that I mean the following. Chess has 100% strategy. Agree? Execution, which means like you're not using a joystick, you're not using anything, just like it's right there. There's no dexterity to be used, and there's no story. So it's 100% strategy. Guitar Hero, there's no strategy. You just have to do execution. You have to execute on the beat, and that's how you win the game. Gone Home, there's no strategy. There's no execution. There's just narrative. You're being told a story and you're living it. Mario Kart, 80% execution, and that's how I started losing my game. But there is still strategy. Like when you're turning a corner or taking a different route, or when you choose to like hit someone with a banana peel, or kind of deroute someone, just who's the first player, is it the right time to kind of like go for it? All of this is strategy. So yeah, there is strategy, but there's no narrative. You get the point, right? Like this is Street Fighter. Strategy 40%, execution 60%, no story. We're going to continue. I'm just going to show you my screens. You are getting the idea. So many good games out there with these types of percentages. So when you're making your game, think about those things. Off-World Trading Company, that's my game. It is 80% strategy, 20% execution, and no narrative. However, Old world is 80% strategy, mainly focused on strategy, and the narrative is 20%. And sometimes you do get hit by random events, but we are trying to make it sound like the old world. Like sometimes there are things that you don't see and they, come in to change things for you, but without messing up with your strategy. I hate creating a strategy in a game and then something very, very random coming up and changing my game. It feels like less strategy to me. It's also not about the theme. It's like, just because you're going to make a game about Game of Thrones, it doesn't mean it's just going to have to be a strategy game. So it's not about the theme. I'll tell you what I mean. If we choose a theme aliens, okay, we're going to make a game about aliens that's out there, right? XCOM Aliens, the game, has 80% strategy. You don't need to be dexterous, and 20% narrative. Another game about aliens. You remember the game? 20% strategy, 80% execution, no narrative. Mass Effect, 25, 25, 50. So what is your game? What is the pie? What piece of the pie are you making? Answer these questions for yourself, and it will also help you with budgeting for your game. You'll know where you are placing what. Do you need to hire more designers? Do you need to hire more artists? Do you need to work on your mechanics? Are you going to be focusing more on the language as transmitted to the hardware? So all of these things will help you determine where the fun is being had, and keep that in mind. On console, dexterity it's by itself a gameplay. So if you play better than me, you're more agile than I am on the joystick, you're gonna win the game. So that by itself is a gameplay. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and I'm gonna go back to you and start answering your questions. Ashraf?
I'm with you. I can read the questions for you. We had a question from Ashraf. He's asking you, what does a producer do?
All right, wonderful. So in small companies, a producer, or in big companies, it's really the same. We're AA, like we're somewhere between indie and AAA. We with 4 projects running, we need a producer. In my case, a producer is someone who, we use a software called Jira to track production, meaning, all right, so we sit down, we talk about the scope of the game. It's going to take 2.5 years to make. We're going to need hundreds of events. We are going to make it in 2D. Oh, wait, we're going to make it 2.5. We're going to make it 3D. So we divide the teams and we have the budget. And now we're just going to start allocating tasks to each team. It's a huge project, right? We're going to draw it out from here. From now till 2.5 years, this is the amount of work we need to do. We break it down in 2 months, and then we break it down in 2 weeks. And then we start creating tickets for each task. This is going to take 5 hours to create. This ticket's going to take a week to create. This task is going to take 2 weeks to create. And we add up the hours to justify the 2.5 years of production to get to where we need. It also determines hiring. I'm going to mute my mic because I'm going to sneeze. Just a second. Apologies. So thank you.
No worries. Bless you.
Yeah. So all of that is called production. Thank you. Thank you. So in order for you to not get frustrated or surprised, make sure that ahead of time you don't confuse your team. Don't change. Start with design. Like always start with design. Don't start with art. Start with design. In my case, it is not beneficial for me to start with art, because if design changes, I'm going to have to scrap that art work that's been done and trash it, never to use it again. So first, solidify your design ideas, lock down the ones that you're sure of, and start saying, okay, we do need a portrait of Hatshepsut. So this is done. This is going to take a few days for thumbnails to be created, concept art, and then it's going to take 2 weeks for the painter to work on it, check with us, and then the finishing touches is going to take a couple more days. So you start having a rhythm that will help you with predictability. So when you're talking to a publisher and the publisher goes, okay, Leyla, so your team's going to deliver, I don't know, a chair mechanic game 2027. I'll be more comfortable saying yes, knowing that I have broke down all of this in production for each and every person. This is how long it's going to take. Um, this is how longer it's going to take to create the music. This is how many musicians we need. This is how many hours of music we want. This is the budget for music. We are creating 3D art, so we need a bigger art team. We are going to, this is very heavy on strategy. We're going to need 6 designers. We're going to need probably 50 people to work on this game. It will help you budgeting, breaking down budget. It will eliminate surprises as much as possible. Did I answer that for you?
I feel like yes, you did. Thank you. But just to double check, would you say that a producer is the same as a product manager?
Yes.
Okay.
Product manager and a team manager.
Yeah. We have another question from Ahmed Fuad. They're asking if making an X game with a twist is bad.
So I'd like to hear the idea. There's no bad idea. There is a developed idea. So a general idea could be anything. So maybe perhaps you want to tell me more about where you think you are going. Do you have a prototype? Did you study the market? Do you know if the market needs all the game, that specific game? What is your strategy? So that's a longer conversation. If you feel that we need to have that conversation, I'm very happy to go on Twitter and open a space and we can take the conversation out there. Let me know in the chat. And if I didn't understand the question, you have a follow-up question, please drop it in the chat.
These are the questions in the chat, but please feel free to. Oh, we have a new question. Does the market ever need a game?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there are. Yes, for example, the market is saturated with, for example, what do you call them? These like match games on mobile. So, but in my part of the world, we don't have enough civilization type games where 4X games. So I feel like a market could need a civilization type game with strategy where like there's way more room for creativity. I actually do think that we always need new ideas. We always need a game, just like we need new movies, we need new series. So yeah. All right, is it for the questions?
Those are the questions available in the chat, yes. Actually, we just received another one. If saying making X but better is bad, which I agree with, I think saying making X with my own twist or take on it is not a bad thing necessarily. And as you have said, you need to understand the market, you need to develop the idea and game. There's whole genres that revolve around the same base mechanics, but with different takes on them, such as Souls-like or roguelikes. So this is just as a follow-up to the previous conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you know, okay, so I want to make a better Fortnite game isn't going to go anywhere. But if you are able to 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 um, to communicate what is different, that would be great. And in every pitch, and this is just me just putting all my cards on the table for you. Every pitch I take to a publisher, I say, look, listen, I'm making this game. It's a little bit of civilization where I'm taking, like the movement of the units and the progression of the game with the achievement tree, And then I'm also taking stuff from Crusader Kings where you have, and it's just to kind of make the publisher understand what kind of game I'm thinking of doing. So I'll say something like, there will be events. Your leader will die, and then your heir will take over. And then you'll have disputes within the family and disputes with your allies. And you have to like, it's a stressful game if you think about it, but it's not really, it's strategy. You can spy on your allies and or your enemies or your spouse. And in different times, you could marry a multitude of people. So it's just like us asking, uh, ask us giving the publisher an idea of what we're creating by using games that are known out there, right? But it is very, very important to communicate it. Like, how are you making it, and why are you making it this way? Sometimes the answer is that because it would be really, really fun to just kind of have to manage a kingdom the way it used to happen in the old world. So yeah, don't let me discourage you. I'm just telling you how to present it if you were to present it. I hope I that came across properly.
Yes, I think that sounded really, really good. Thank you, Hannah, for the questions, and thank you, Leyla, for the answers. We do have, I think, one more question, and then we can do what you would like. Oh, we have two more questions. Okay, so the first one's from Radical, and they say, should I push myself when making a game? What are the minimums and the limits of pushing and working?
Ashraf, what do you think he means on pushing?
So I think this is about how hard should I be working to finish my game? Should I probably work like 24 hours a day, or should I do 12 or maybe even 8? So like how hard should I work to break my own limits and finish working on my game? Is this
Mhm.
correct, Radical? Yes, they say I
Okay.
guess. So
All right.
good
So
enough.
if you're my employee, Radical, I'd say heck no. We have an anti-crunch policy. I won't allow you to work more than is allowed by my company. But Radical, if you are me, I'd say heck yes, go for it. That's the only way I know how to work. I work on weekends. I work on holidays. I take work with me to vacation. I go to Lebanon. I continue working. I enjoy working. Sometimes I do feel burnt out, especially at the beginning of a project. Because I'm also the CEO, so I have to run around the world, shake hands, get to know who has money, and pitch and ask for money. And as you know, in our culture, it's never a good thing to ask people for money. So it takes a part of your soul with you, and you feel deflated. So I still have to do all of these things. And this year, I am the lead designer of my own game as well inside of the company. So it's just like a lot of work. I will have burnout. So I'd say if you're my employee, please don't do it. And I care about you. But if you're me, I'll do it, and then eventually I'll hit burnout and disappear for like a month and not talk to anybody but just my kids. So
Very fair answer, and honestly, I can completely relate, unfortunately, for the both of us. Yes, yes. All right, awesome answer. Okay, so we have Hisham. He's joining us from Discord, so he's not in the call, but he's watching. Hi, Hisham.
uh-huh. Hey,
Um,
Sham.
so he says, as starters, should we aim for trendy games or try to make new ideas?
Okay. So look, trend is good, but what is the main thing we know about trend? It is here to stay, or it's just passing by? So it's passing by. So if you can create a game within like 3 months to make the trend, go for it. But like, yeah, sure. Ride the wave. If you can create a game within 3 to 4 months and just follow up with that idea, just go for it. It's usually very, very difficult. So can't hear you.
You're muted.
I keep doing this to myself.
That's okay.
So yes, I agree with Layla completely. And honestly, like if you can catch the wave, go for it. If you can't catch the wave, just do what your heart desires. Um, All right, and I think we have one more question. Where is it? Did I miss it?
Please ask whatever
Okay.
you want. Do not feel embarrassed. There is no bad answer. Seriously, just ask any question, really. And I'm always available. My DMs on Layla Cat J are open, so you can always contact me.
That's wonderful. Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so I did find another question, which is if you realize a project isn't going as expected in the beginning, should you roll with it or stick to the script? So Yusuf, I think you said the same thing twice, but I think we got what you mean. So should you keep
Wonderful
going with
question.
the project or
Oh,
just
wonderful
get lost?
question. This is like so many projects. I don't know you guys have seen this. So many projects got shut down recently after spending so much money, so much time. It frustrates the team that worked on it, got passionate about it to realize, okay, look, listen, this is not going to make us money. This is not going well. This is very buggy. We don't have a clear idea on how to finish this. It's going to cost too much. Let's just kill the project. So I'm a bit of an OCD. I don't like doing work, like just I don't like throwing things in the trash, including food. So I apply the same thing with my company. I like to be very careful. Every step, I say iteration, listen to your team, feel how the team feels about it, play your game, hire people who love your game, who love the idea. So they work from heart. They are enjoying it. Make the games you enjoy playing, your team enjoys playing. Would I turn off if I have to? Yes. We're creating 4 projects. I was hoping we turn off a couple of them so we can focus on 2 because 4 is a lot of work, regardless of like it's a lot of work. But I realized that the team organically got divided and just chose the projects that they want and they are improving on the back burner and different publishers are interested in different projects. We might get money for all 4. At any point, if I feel I need to slow something down because it's unhealthy for us as a company and as a team, I'll communicate that to my publisher, say, hey, look, listen, just give me a year, I'll give you a better product. I need to give my team a breathing room. And I'm seeing that now almost all publishers agree that publishing a game at a time where it is ready is way better than publishing on time, but it's not ready. So, and if I feel like my game is not going anywhere, it'll break my heart, but I will shut it down, yes. It is better than continuing in a bad thing and wasting time. Really, like it kills the morale.
Yeah, absolutely. Like at the end of the day, if you're paying your team, then you're going to be losing money. And if your team is working for free, they're going to lose motivation and might not be happy working on whatever you're doing. So you're either miserable or poor. And I don't think
Yeah.
you want to be either of those. So
No, especially with our games because our games they start at least at 2 to 3 million and they go up to like 16, 17 million to create. So every, I don't know, few months that we're going in, we're just drowning at least $500,000 down the drain to $1 million. It's just like ridiculous.
yeah, I don't think we can think in these numbers yet here.
Well, I mean, it's just because it's we make PC strategy games, right? And like we make triple A quality with a double A budget, so we're known for that. So knock
Yeah,
on wood.
100%.
Yeah. Hmm.
Awesome. Okay, so Ahmed has another question as well. So basically, as a leader of the team or the head of the spear, I like this expression. How do you keep on going if you find yourself losing motivation for said idea, or if you're having issues staying on track while not stopping your team's progression?
Uh, how do I find motivation? Great question. Every time I go to a conference, I come back full of motivation and ideas. Because I meet friends in the industry who are working on their own thing and we tell each other about what's happening. You listen to these motivating talks and you start writing down, and please bring a notebook, write your ideas down because you will forget about them. Like seriously, write them down. And then I come back home and I'm just like ready. It's like I can do so much work after I've done so much work at the conference. And then I come home and I have like these 2 to 3 weeks where I'm just like full of motivation. Other ways I keep myself motivated through the music. I start building my soundtrack as soon as I start building my project. So for the project that I'm leading next, I already have written the lyrics, and I'm looking for like a couple of translators because I'm making them in different languages and for an interesting purpose. I can't say that right now. I can't say what it is exactly. And I work with the music, and that kind of drives me. Also, I'm someone who can get bored. So wearing different hats, like being the biz dev and going and getting money, and then being the writer, and then being, art director for 2D art, and also the music, like the creative director in general, helps me tremendously. I get tired of this. I can do that. Only one thing kills my creativity is if we have like business issues or we need money like right now and I'm traveling all the time to pitch. It deprives me from the joy I get from developing and designing my game. Another sneeze.
Saha, no worries. Um, yes, honestly, I agree with this. And to kind of echo what Lila was saying, when you find yourself losing motivation, it's probably because you're either tired or out of ideas or stuck on an actual building block. So you're literally trying to like build a thing and it just takes very long to do this. So take a break, find something you enjoy and go for that. Like Layla and I love conferences. We love going and talking to our friends, being around people, etc., etc. So this is what we do. You might find yourself having fun by watching movies or just, playing sports or something of the sort. So whenever you find something that motivates you externally to just the project itself, you need to bring energy back into yourself so you can output it into your project. So, find something you enjoy, bring it in, have fun, look at the sun, touch grass, as they say, and that should give you enough energy to keep you going. Because
Game
making
jams.
games,
Game
go on.
jams are also a motivation. If you don't want to make a game, volunteer to be a member of the jury and see how beautiful people are and what they're capable of and how fun everything is. And then it puts a smile on your face and it's just the beautiful people out there.
100%, 100%. Awesome. All right, so we have a question from Omar. I like this question a lot. It's
Don't tell me to touch grass.
Um, so Omar's question is, how would you know that the game is ready to be shown to a publisher? Is there a rule of thumb?
Mm. So I might sound uppity, and if you really know me, you know that's not what I'm trying to do. My company is 10 years old. Our reputation in the industry is wonderful. We've always delivered on time. We have amazing relationships with all of our publishers. We had Epic being our distributor. Hooded Horse is the one for us on Steam for Old World. Starbreeze used to be I mean, we've really had amazing collaborations. Sebastian, just 10 more minutes. Okay. Sorry, kids' house. And question. What's the question?
Game ready for publishing.
Oh yes, game ready for publishing. Well, not ready for publishing, more like when can I show my game?
Yeah.
I'm at a place, and again, I apologize. I'm not trying to sound uppity. We're in a place where we've shipped successful games. We've won game awards for our strategy. We were nominated for a Grammy last year. People know that we have, again, double A budget. Well, we deliver triple A quality. And that earned us a lot of points. So now I go around, I talk to like literally anybody. I can talk to anyone from Xbox to Paradox, Ubisoft. Ubisoft asked me to pitch for them, and it's just an idea. So I pitch at the idea level at this point. I'm like, hey, you folks, I have this idea. And they're like, okay, I'm connecting you to X person. Please talk to them. So, but it's a whole route. Like it's a lot of work to get here. I really hope all of you in this room get there if this is the shema, the path that you choose to take. So I hope you get there. I pitched 4 ideas and I've got interest from everybody. And it was such a confusing interest because let's just say Xbox is interested in this game. I was like, okay, team, get ready. I think this is where we're going to focus. And then, Ubisoft is interested in the second game on that list. And then Netflix is interested in the third. And it's like, okay, you guys, we're going to get a lot of money. I might need to literally shut down the fourth project. I'm not going to pitch it. Because think about it this way, I will get funding for 2 to 3 projects, and I hire every single person on the team. I'm the hiring manager. So I'm going to need to hire someone, onboard them for a whole month. And that is basically doubling in size in 1 year. So yes, of course, this is way more important than getting money from a publisher for me at this point. So I show it at an idea level, and then I get the second meeting, I show them a prototype. And then the third time I see them a couple months later, I show them a playable and then tell them, give me the money. They really get scared, and they do give me the money.
Awesome. Very, very fair.
It's hard for us, by the way, it's hard for us to do a vertical slice because we're a strategy game. So we don't create the art before the strategy. So yeah.
It's very, very fair.
You
I
grow
guess
your beard and scare them yourself. I'll also try to grow a beard and scare them if this is a better strategy.
if it gets you the money, might as well.
Might as well.
Awesome. So I think we have a last question from Ahmad. He says it's the last one. We'll see if it is. My last question would be, do you have any junior position open in your company? I like this motivation, Ahmad.
Okay. So I think Ashraf knows. I don't know if Joseph Azam is with us too. But I think you guys know, if you know me, if you met me, every time I go to Lebanon, I give 2 days of my time just to kind of hear your ideas, look at your work. I collaborate with anything in Lebanon, with everyone in Lebanon to help out. So what I'll say is the following: we've tried to work with Lebanese developers in the past, and I'll continue doing that. Right now, we're at the beginning of those 4 projects, as I said. Also Egypt, yes. The region, yeah, absolutely. All of these 22 countries. So yeah, but just because Lebanon went through a whole lot of stuff since 2019, Beirut explosion, all sorts of that. And I decided that I want to help out that people that just rises from the ashes. I know it's a cliche. I love it. And I want to help the people because the determination that people has with lack of internet, electricity, wars, everything, and they still want to create. It would be criminal for me not to extend a hand on the other side of the world. So what I'll say is, yes, we will have positions. Keep your eyes open on our website. I post all the time. Right now, we're not hiring yet. I'm waiting for the money to come in. But we will definitely need people to come in and work. And even I will open up spaces for internships. Check my Twitter account. I will start opening spaces sometimes to just discuss things and answer questions in general. So I'll be available for you. I will try to talk to Ashraf. I know, Ashraf, you don't also have a lot of hand on your time. I might not be able to go to Lebanon right now. I was planning to. Might still be a possibility. We'll see. Allah يحمي لبنان. Allah يحمي لبنان. Allah يرضى عن لبنان. So if I do, and I can squeeze a few hours where I can meet with most of you, so I can hear your ideas, I'll try to make that possible as well.
Right, awesome. Thank you so much, Leyla. We really, really appreciate this. I think this was the end of the questions. If you let me just check on Discord if we have anything else that was there. I think we should be fine from that point. Cool. All right. So Leyla, I know you do need to bounce. So thank you so much for your time. This was honestly wonderful. A lot of people really, really enjoyed it. So thank you so much.
Right, thank you.
And just a final thing, where can people find you? It's at LeylaCatJ on Twitter.
At Leyla
And is there
J on
anything
Twitter.
else?
No,
Okay.
generally I'm there. If we can gather a group, you can also find me in the WhatsApp group. It's like 500 people in there. Wonderful people, wonderful community. Please do join. these are dedicated people. The chat itself helps you find answers sometimes. It's a very fast chat. People are very, very, very helpful. It's a questionable sense of humor, but you'll manage.
100%. I agree.
Uh,
We'll send it soon, Mark, if you'd like.
yes.
Yeah, and come in if you'd like. Just send us the messages on the Gaming Academy Discord, and we will help you out as much as we can. And yeah, I guess that's basically it. All right, Leyla, thank you so much.
All right.
Say hi to
Thank you so
everyone for
much.
your ads.
Thank you. I will. All
Awesome.
right. Thank you,
We'll
Ashraf.
see you
Thank
guys
you,
soon.
Ayub. Thank you, everybody. All right.
Mhm.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Bye. You guys take care.